Jason, please show me your intellectual superiority in the free marketplace of ideas. I am begging to be destroyed with facts and logic. So basically, you think that trans people are somehow, like, delusional. So let's just kind of, like, first off establish, like, what is a delusion? A delusion is a false belief that somebody holds that doesn't change even when presented contrary evidence, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I guess my question to you is, like, if you think that I, as a trans person, am delusional, then, like, what am I delusional about? What do I have a false belief about?
So let me just ask, are you a trans woman?
Yeah.
Biologically male?
Biologically, I'd say that I'm a transsexual because some of my biology's changed since taking hormones.
Well, I mean biologically, like, at birth.
Yeah, at birth, I was assigned male at birth.
The fact that you change yourself and you believe that just because you change and operate, and I would consider mutilation to be mutilation, you believe that you can change who you are, when in reality, once you are a male, you'll never be a female.
Well, hold up. What am I having a false belief about, though? Because you just said that, like, you know, I can change my body in some ways, and, like, yeah, I can change my body in those ways. I believe that I can change my body in all the ways which hormones allow my body to change. I believe that I could change my body through various surgeries, surgeries that I haven't had, but that are possible. But outside of things that are, like, actually changing my body, I don't think anything magically changes. So, like, where's the delusion?
I would say the delusion lies in the fact that, for especially with transsexualism, is BID, bodily integrity disorder. You can't accept who you are, so you have to change who you are, and you will never actually change. You'll just be mutilated just because you.
What do you mean? Wait, hold up. What do you mean I'm not actually changing? Like, for example, I love my body. I decided to go on estrogen, and that caused me to develop boobs. Like these are real boobs that I developed. So what is it that I think that I can change that I can't?
So would you ever get, like, bottom surgery?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so that's when it, I guess, crosses a line of, you know, you're changing, you're messing with you're mutilating yourself, and that part I would.
Is your problem? Wait. Does getting bottom surgery make somebody delusional, or is your problem that you think it's like mutilation? Like, what's your problem with bottom surgery there?
Just because you mutilate yourself doesn't change anything about yourself. Like,
wait, what do you mean? It literally changes something about yourself. Like, if I were to get bottom surgery, then purely objectively, descriptively, my genitals would function differently. Because that's what surgery does. Like, surgery changes the body. There's nothing delusional about that.
But you won't be female. So you can mutilate yourself,
what do you
but
mean?
still won't
what do you
be
mean by
female.
female exactly?
Other denoting the sex that can give birth.
Okay, well, I don't think that would allow me to give birth. So there's no delusion there.
Right, but then if you say that you are a female, like a transsexual would say that they're opposite of their gender, then that's where the delusion lies.
Are we talking, like, biologically or socially? Because biologically, I would be a transsexual. Socially, I'm perceived and treated as a woman in my everyday life.
Well, you can't change your sex.
You can partially change your sex. So when we use the term sex, we're referring to usually lots of different characteristics. Like, we might be referring to chromosomes, we might be referring to reproduction, but we might also be referring to things like the external sex characteristics. We might be referring to, like, the hormone levels in someone's body. We might be referring to certain body parts that people have. We might be referring to, like, the body fat distribution. We might be referring to, like, the presence of facial hair. There are lots of characteristics which we classify as sex characteristics, which we can totally change, and that I have changed in many ways.
But what makes you female?
Yeah, so I would say that I have female hormone levels. I have a female body fat distribution. If you want to think about, like, my skin texture, the way my body smells, that's all much more in line with females than males because of the biological reality which I've obtained by medically transitioning.
That would be more with femininity, but not necessarily being a female.
That's a female characteristic. Like, you know that males and females, like, their body sweat literally smells differently. Do you know about that?
No, I'm aware, but that doesn't make you
if you're a transsexual and you medically transition, your body sweat will smell like the opposite sex. That's a biological characteristic which you can change.
Yeah, but you are not of the sex that can give birth. Originally the sex that can give birth.
But plenty of women
you're just an effeminate male.
Plenty of women aren't able to give birth, but they're still women, right?
That's where the word denoting comes on. If everything...
Wait, so why can't I be denoting? Because my hormone levels are denoting that my body is female in many ways.
Because if you were to function at your full capacity, basically if your body was to function normally, you would be of the denoting the sex that can impregnate, that can fertilize an egg, not give birth. If everything about you is working perfectly, then you would be of or denoting.
What do you mean by working perfectly?
The fact that you alter yourself and change yourself just might make you infertile.
But wait, I'm not sure what you mean by working perfectly, because there are plenty of women that, even if their bodies were working perfectly, they still wouldn't be able to give birth. Like, that's just how their body came out, how their body was.
If their body can't give birth, but they're still of the sex that can give birth, just because they're infertile, you can fix that, you can alter that.
No, there are plenty of cases where you will always be infertile. There's nothing that can be quote-unquote fixed, because it's not a problem, it's just how their body is. There are plenty of cases of infertility that there is no solution for. So I don't know why you mean by, like, you know, if they were working perfectly, or like why they would be denoted as female but I couldn't be denoted as female. Like, that doesn't make sense.
If you go into a doctor and you tell them I can't get pregnant, they will tell you that's because you are a male, you can't get pregnant.
Okay.
If a female, biological female, comes in and says that I can't get pregnant, they'll run tests and try to figure out what went wrong, right? Even if they can't fix it, you'll know something went wrong.
Like, so what? Wait. Just because there's different reasons why somebody may or may not be able to get pregnant doesn't make anyone more or less of a woman. Say there's like an infertile woman. Why is it that it's okay that she can't get pregnant, but it's not okay that I can't get pregnant? Like, I've accepted that I can't get pregnant. I have no problem with that. That's just how my body is. I'm okay with that.
But you can fertilize an egg.
No, I can't. I'm infertile, my dude.
Well, probably now that you altered yourself, but if you didn't, you would be able to fertilize an egg if everything was
so like
working.
I used to be able to. So what? Like, that's not how my body currently is. So just because my body used to be a certain way doesn't mean that my body is that way right now. Like, my body's different than it used to be.
Are you of the sex that can fertilize an egg, or of the sex that can give birth?
My sex characteristics are mixed. I have some sex characteristics that are more in line with females, and I have some sex characteristics that are more in line with males.
You didn't answer my question. Are you of the sex that can give birth or fertilize an egg?
I can't do either.
Yeah, but are you of the sex?
What do you mean by of the sex?
You altered yourself, which is why you're infertile.
Right. I altered myself, and therefore I can't do either. So what sex am I?
You're still male.
Why am I male? I can't fertilize an egg.
Because just because you defected yourself doesn't mean that you aren't still male. You just ruined your.
Wait, what makes me male?
You disrupted your bodily functions.
Wait, no, that doesn't answer my question. What makes me male?
Because you of or denote the sex, so you indicate or represent the sex that can.
What do you even mean by of or denote?
What?
What do you even mean by of or denote? The thing is, like, as soon as I go under any kind of, like, scrutiny of what you believe, you fall back on this vague sense of, like, of or denote just to mean exactly what you want it to mean. Just to mean that, like, trans women are invalid, but, like, infertile women are valid, or, like, certain intersex people may or may not be valid. Like, the thing is, you're using this phrase of or denoting to mean just whatever you want it to mean. You haven't explained what exactly you mean by ever denoting.
I do. Denote is to represent or indicate, and
okay, wait. So if my body represents or indicates female sex characteristics, then I'm female?
No, your body has to represent or indicate the sex that can give birth.
Well, wait.
Just because
actually, my body does represent female sex characteristics in many ways. My body represents the fact that I have breasts. My body represents, the tiny waist, the wide hips. Certain like bone structure changes that happen due to estrogen all represent female, just like an infertile female would.
Sex characteristics refer to reproductive, not the phenotypical.
Well, sex characteristics refers to both of those, and more as well. Sex characteristics also refers to genetic factors. There are many different characteristics, which we broadly refer to as sex characteristics. Like, you can't just keep switching up the goalpost of what you mean by sex.
What makes somebody a female to you?
Yeah, I would say that I would say that female refers to a cluster of characteristics encompassing chromosomes, hormones, reproductive ability, phenotypical characteristics. Kind of like all of the above are female sex characteristics, and we might refer to somebody as female if they meet, some of those characteristics.
So what standard do you hold people to be considered a female and can be considered a male?
I would say that you want to look at the sum of their sex characteristics. And if they have some female sex characteristics, then they're in some way female.
But like, what characteristics are you looking at? Because there's a lot of
I would look at people's chromosomes. Like, for example, say XX or XY. You can look at certain genes which appear to be related to sex characteristics. I would test people's hormone levels. I would, phenotypically observe whether they have certain organs, like, say, breasts, like, say, wide hips. I would observe, phenotypical characteristics like body odor, like whether or not they have thick body hair, and the sum of these characteristics would encompass somebody's sex. That's why I say that I'm a transsexual, because some of my sex characteristics have changed due to my medical transition, but others don't change, and I accept that that's my biological reality. Do you think that anything that I said is false?
What? No.
Okay, wait. Just to be clear, you said that nothing that I said there was false, therefore I can't be delusional because I don't have a false belief.
No, I'm not saying
because remember,
the
point that you came into the debate was that you think that trans people are delusional, but you just said that I don't have a false belief about my sex characteristics, therefore I can't be delusional under the definition of delusional, which we both agreed to.
No, but I think the standard of where we're drawing the line is what makes someone a female, what makes someone a male is completely different.
Before we go back to kind of like this where we draw the line, do you concede that I'm not delusional?
I don't concede that, no.
Well, then where's my false belief?
Well, the fact that you think that you can change yourself. Once you're male, you're male.
You think that my body can't change in any way? You don't think that I grew breasts? You don't think that I have breasts?
Breast doesn't make you a female. There's men with
breasts. Hold up.
Wait,
that's an entirely different goalpost. You said that I can't change myself. And now you're saying, well, you can change yourself, but you can't change yourself enough. So, which one is it? You keep switching up. If you can't keep a consistent worldview, you're the one who's delusional.
No. I'm not delusional. Sex, you can't change sex.
But literally you can change certain sex characteristics. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Characteristics, but
if that's all I've claimed, is that I can change certain sex characteristics.
If I cut off my arm, am I still human?
Yeah, I would say so.
Right. So just because you can amputate, you can change, doesn't change anything.
But wait.
Just because you change part of it, you can't change who you are.
So if part of it's missing, you can still be human. So even if I don't have all of the female sex characteristics, I'm still female in many ways.
You might have more characteristics of a female, but you are
still male. If I have more characteristics of a female, then why not classify me more in line with the females? If I go to my doctor, they need to be aware of the biological reality of my medical transition, because having an estrogen-dominant hormone system means that for many medical procedures, for many types of medical screenings, I need to be treated more like a female than a male, because, for example, certain cancers, like heart or things like heart disease, are going to depend on your hormonal makeup, not on whether or not you have a penis. So, but you still doctors need to be aware of this and need to understand this biological reality of how my biology, how my sex characteristics have truly changed.
But you could still get prostate cancer.
It is possible, yes. Although it's actually a lot rarer for trans women to get prostate cancer. Did you know that there's actually some cisgender females that can get prostate cancer?
It's the most prevalent in males, so you would have to get tested more.
You got it right there. It's most prevalent in males, but some females can also get prostate cancer. You figured it out, right? I'm not trying to say that my body is the most typical body. I'm not the most typical, person when it comes to my sex characteristics. But
actually, what you said false.
It's not really easy to just classify me entirely on the male side of things, because that's going to get things so wrong when I go to the doctor.
Actually, what you said is false. Hold on, wait. What you said is false.
What did I say is false?
Females can get prostate cancer. I just looked it up. They cannot, under no circumstance, get prostate cancer.
Do you know about... Wait, you're not understanding me. So, do you recognize that some intersex females actually do have prostates, like in the case of complete androgen sensitivity?
Well, I say intersex is different than male and female. I don't think you can force a classification for intersex to be male or female. I don't think that's fair.
Wait. So if somebody... Wait. Okay, and you think... How would you define intersex, broadly speaking?
Intersex is somebody with both sex characteristics. So I would say maybe you were intersex.
So by your definition, I could be intersex, yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say...
So then here's the thing. If I am intersex by your definitions, then why do you want to call me male?
If you were intersex by your definition?
By your own set of definitions, which you just gave me, I would be intersex.
Sure, you can be intersex, but saying you're female is not what I would align with. But intersex is fine.
Okay, well, I never said that, I am biologically female in every way. What I've said throughout this entire conversation is that I have mixed sex characteristics, I've changed some sex characteristics, and if you can agree that I'm intersex, then where's the delusion? Where's the false belief?
If you're intersex now and you can have both sex characteristics, then yeah, I would say you're intersex, but you're not female. So you would
Okay,
not
so
be
wait, where's the false belief?
the delusion. The delusion would lie in saying you're a trans woman, not necessarily that you're intersex.
Okay, so what's the false belief embedded in me saying that I'm a trans woman?
Because you're not an adult human female.
Well, hold up. I don't think that woman just strictly means adult human female. Because in our daily life, when we interact with people, when we interact with someone, when we call them she, when we call them a woman, we don't know all of their sex characteristics. I guarantee you that you have interacted with intersex people in your daily life that you didn't know they were intersex, and you just treated them as a woman because that's how you perceived them. So clearly, we can apply the word woman, maybe not the word female, but the word woman to intersex people who have certain female traits which cause you to perceive them as a woman, right?
If I looked identical to a celebrity and you confused me with that celebrity out in public, does that make me that celebrity?
No, but that's different than what a woman is.
Just because you perceive me to be something doesn't change who I actually am.
Well, right, I agree with that, but if we're talking about, like, a societal standard which is applied to people, then that does. The difference is that being a specific celebrity, being a specific person, is not the same thing as being a broader social class. And when it comes to gender, like, being perceived and treated in a certain way, that's what gender is, baby. Did he quit? I don't think he quit. He hasn't fully quit out yet. Oh, looks like he did quit out. Yeah, so he was in no way able to demonstrate, like, any kind of false belief I had. And as for, like, if somebody, like, perceives you as something that doesn't make you that thing, sure, broadly I agree. But when it comes to being a woman, if we're categorizing woman as a social category, not a strictly biological category, which in all practice, in descriptive reality, woman operates as a social category far more than it does a strict biological reality. Because when you call somebody a woman, when you use the term woman, when you talk about, oh, my friend, she's a woman, most of the time, you're using that to refer to her within a social context, within, like, a social status, not having to do with her biology. Maybe sometimes you do use the word woman to refer to her biology. You know, maybe say, like, oh, she has, like, a doctor appointment that's for, like a woman's health doctor. Sure, maybe that has to do with her biology. But often, like, oh, I met this woman the other day. All you know about her is, you know, her social presentation, the way you understand her socially. So just purely descriptively, logically, the way we use the word woman is more often social.